All right, please raise your hand if you ever heard of Burning Man before you heard about this event. 1, 2, 3. That's about what I figured. So I get to introduce you to it. So we're going to talk about answering three questions. First, what is Burning Man? The second is, what does Burning Man have to do with innovation? And the third is, what does any of this have to do with Thailand? So let's start with, what is Burning Man? Well, Larry Harvey, who passed away in 2018, is a co-founder and visionary who guided Burning Man for decades. Burning Man started with a spontaneous act of creative inspiration in the summer of 1986, when Larry asked his friend Jerry James if he would help him build a wooden man that they would burn on a beach in San Francisco. About 100 people showed up for that. By 1990, about 350 people showed up, and they were told, the police told them that they could not stay there anymore, so they moved to the Black Rock Desert, the most remote and harsh expanse of nothing that you can imagine, in the state of Nevada, about 400 kilometers northeast of San Francisco. It's grown from about 30 participants, who are called burners, to about 80,000 burners in the last 30 years. Burning Man City is called Black Rock City. For 8 days, it becomes the third largest metropolitan area in the state of Nevada, with a hospital, an airport, radio stations, and shared transportation. There are even post offices. This is the camp that I lead, the Black Rock City 3 o'clock post office. We are a theme camp. We use postal services as an excuse for creating thousands of entertaining one-on-one interactions each year. And last year, we gave away 7,500 postcards and stamps and mailed them to 62 countries. This picture actually comes from a 2017 Wall Street Journal article. But we're open about 20 hours per day. Once you arrive, you keep your car parked. The only vehicles allowed to drive in Black Rock City are moving art pieces called mutant vehicles. They are required to admit anyone who wants a ride. They're actually public transportation, but the most common form of transportation is the bicycle. The art, Burning Man's really an art and design gallery like no other. The dry lake bed underneath it is a perfect canvas. Artists design installations that can be interacted with, whether climbed, viewed with music and changing patterns of light, or in ways that you might never expect. Burning Man is a paradox. One person can only experience a tiny piece of the whole, yet everyone has a shared experience that is unique to Burning Man. Burning Man's a place where people work for long hours to build art, perform, interact, play, and find meaning. Burning Man is the largest open-air art gallery in the world. Burning Man's a place where people feel free to express themselves creatively, authentically, outrageously. Burning Man is the most radical and decentralized party on the planet. Burning Man's temple is a place of profound grief, release, healing, peace. Burning Man is a place of ritual, renewal, collective celebration, and personal transformation. Burning Man is beautiful and bizarre, a place of intimate kindness and grand spectacles. Burning Man is a place of stunning performance, quirky fun, music, wind, dust, and hope. Burning Man culminates with two events on the final weekend. A celebratory ritual of burning the wooden man on Saturday night, and the much more quiet burn of the temple on Sunday night. With a small paid staff, Burning Man is built and operated almost entirely by volunteers, from the builders of Black Rock City's infrastructure to the doctors and nurses of emergency services. Burning Man is a global movement with regional networks in 43 countries. There are about 100 officially recognized regional Burning Man events. Hopefully, I've given you a taste of what Burning Man is. But what does Burning Man have to do with innovation? Innovation at Burning Man is literally everywhere, from how people dress to how they transport themselves to the art that they create. Let me give you a few specific examples. The tree of Tenere is a lifelike sculpture of a tree with 175,000 LEDs embedded in 25,000 leaves. It is a three-dimensional interactive light sculpture. It can be controlled by headsets that monitor brain waves, breath, and heartbeat, by motion sensors embedded in the tree, by an iPhone app that uses the motion of the phone to control the lights in 3 dimensions, or by a computer program that choreographs the light to music. And that computer program is open source, so people from around the world can actually program it. Here's another example of innovation. That's new products and services that help burners to survive the challenging environment. Take shelter, for example. 2 problems with tents is that they are difficult to set up in the wind and they get very hot as soon as the sun hits them. The shift pod, which is pictured above, is designed to pop up in minutes, and now it's found at disaster relief sites around the world. The advanced materials and design in the no-bake tent below block nearly all of the sun's rays. It truly stays cool in the hot sun. But there are also open source shelter designs. This is called the Hexier, made from foam, insulation, and tape. The plans are available for anyone to download, and many open source designs have been developed. Theme camps are another source of innovation, providing a service, entertainment, food, or other creative interactive experience for everyone at Burning Man. For example, Cosmic Dust Camp built the Pedal Pub Bike Bar up there, where the drinkers pedal their bar around Black Rock City. 1,500 theme camps compete for the attention of burners, generating a remarkable diversity of experiences from jazz clubs to breakfast sandwiches to ice baths. There's other evidence of Burning Man's innovation. There's long been a relationship between Burning Man and Silicon Valley. Burning Man's been attended by Elon Musk from Tesla, Sergey Brin, Larry Page, and Eric Schmidt from Google, Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook, and countless other founders, engineers, and venture capitalists from Silicon Valley. They see a connection between Burning Man and their creative inspiration at work. This extraordinary culture of innovation at Burning Man has been the subject of over 100 academic studies, a few of which are cited here. So, how did Burning Man create this culture of innovation? The Burning Man project sees Burning Man as a permission engine. They provide a canvas where participants are inspired by the creativity they see and are given permission to create their own unique expressions. But what conditions are required to produce this permission engine? As a believer in the power of design and systems thinking, the most important principle I teach my students is this: the structure of systems produces behavior, which creates the results we see. In order to get the results you want, you need to start with the design of the system. In my view, there are two design structures that are instrumental in creating the culture of innovation at Burning Man. One is the physical layout and design of Black Rock City. The second is Burning Man's 10 principles. So this is the layout of Black Rock City. The wooden man is placed in the center of a clock design. The residential streets of the city go from 2 o'clock all the way around to 10 o'clock, and there are plazas in every neighborhood, and theme camps line the streets and plazas, offering every imaginable experience. The area surrounding the man and between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock is a public open-air art gallery called the Playa. Hundreds of original art pieces are placed throughout the Playa. People throng to the Playa to see the art, the mutant vehicles, and each other. Newcomers see thousands of unique expressions of creativity and ask themselves, what could I do here next year? Imaginations are activated. The second important design feature are the 10 principles. Larry Harvey and Harley Dubois observed them and codified them in the early 2000s. Let's take a few minutes to walk through them. Radical inclusion. All are welcome at Burning Man. 25% of participants come from other countries. By promoting a gift economy, Burning Man encourages a culture of generosity. Decommodification. We take consumerism's impacts on our thinking, our feelings, and our relationships for granted. Burning Man is a vacation from consumerism. The only things that can be bought once you are there are ice, which is required for survival to keep food fresh, and coffee, which is also required for survival. Radical self-reliance. We are responsible for ourselves physically, mentally, and emotionally. Burners and our campmates bring food, water, shelter, electricity, and anything else we may want or need. We can truly be who we want to be and do what we want to do. We are encouraged to experiment with how we present ourselves to the world. Nearly everything that happens at Burning Man is a result of collaborative effort. Since the participants of Burning Man create Burning Man, we are responsible for our temporary city. Leaving no trace. We strive to leave the Black Rock Desert cleaner and healthier than we found it. Participation. Burning Man is not about being a passive spectator. Burners engage their bodies and minds with art, music, and connection with each other. Burning Man is about present experience, dropping your day-to-day concerns in order to interact with the immediate environment. This moment is the only moment that is real. The 10 principles help define what should and should not be part of Burning Man and are used to orient burners to Burning Man's culture. These 10 principles, along with the design of Black Rock City, produce a culture of innovation that gives permission for radical creativity. But what does any of this have to do with Thailand? Let's start with universities. You can experiment with embedding the 10 principles in some projects or courses to encourage innovation. My experience teaching Thai MBA students is that they enjoy engaging in hands-on creative projects. They just need permission. There are also urban applications for Burning Man and the 10 principles. Cities can hold Burning Man-like gatherings, like the Burning Man Decompression Street Fair shown here in San Francisco, which brings art installations and theme camps to an urban setting for a one-day weekend event. Cities in Thailand could also install more interactive public art that can be enjoyed by everyone. Numerous Burning Man art pieces have been installed in cities around the world. Cities could create free and radically inclusive spaces for people to make art. This is Free Space, a vacant warehouse where the owner allowed a community experiment for 30 days. It was converted temporarily into an incubator for art and civic projects. Free Space hosted 119 free events in 30 days. It has been replicated in 10 cities globally. Why not Bangkok, Chiang Mai, or Phuket? The design of Black Rock City includes many plazas and places for people to gather. Cities can apply this philosophy even in areas where there are no parks. An activist group in San Francisco put this parklet in a parking space for the 2 hours allowed by the parking meter. Burning Man heard about it and sponsored the group to create more. They created a roving bicycle-powered parklet that could go from space to space. This was embraced by the city, and now more than 50 permanent parklets have been installed all over San Francisco. The most innovative and economically successful cities have vibrant art and maker communities. How else can all of Thailand experience the benefits of Burning Man? Thailand could have a regional network and the only regional Burning Man event in Southeast Asia. While the demand for tickets to Burning Man is much greater than the supply, regional events in Australia and Japan are cheaper, closer, and have plenty of tickets. If you're curious, go to one of them. Then, create a regional event that fits the Thai environment and culture. As long as you embed the 10 principles, Burning Man will authorize your event. The relationship between the Thai regional event and Bangkok could be as beneficial as a relationship between Burning Man and Silicon Valley. In summary, encourage artists, makers, and give them permission and opportunity to create, even if it's weird or strange. Make Thailand a place for radical creativity to drive innovation. Thank you.